Today is National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, a day when all of us who are protected and served by the men and women in blue take the lead to show support for these first responders.
Law enforcement officers of every rank and file have chosen a profession that puts their life on the line every day for their communities. They've answered a call to public service that is demanding and sometimes, unfortunately, underappreciated. Well, showing appreciation for members of our law enforcement organizations can make a huge difference in the lives of the men and women who risk their lives for us. Police officers play a crucial role in preventing and responding to criminal activities and ensuring the well-being of individuals and property.
So how about this? How about on this National Law Enforcement Appreciation Day, we all get together and respect those that keep our communities safe. Here helping us do that very thing, celebrating Law Enforcement and Appreciation Day, is Chief George Bacorn of the Denton Police Department. Thank you, Chief, for joining us this afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Good to see you, sir.
Pleasure to be here.
Can you give us a little bit of a background on how Law Enforcement Appreciation Day came about?
It came about through some fraternal organizations and things like that wanted to get together to show a positive feedback toward law enforcement. Yeah. Given that, I think it was about 9 years ago that it came about. And it was just a way to say, hey, thanks, we appreciate what you do.
There you go.
Yeah, so how can we do that? I mean, what are some of the ways that we can show that appreciation, especially today?
Well, you know, everybody talks about the thin blue line. Mm-hmm. That blue line is what protects people from the bad stuff that's going on out there, for sure. So light your social media pages up in blue. Put a blue light on. Or if you see a police officer walking down the street, just say hi and say thanks.
Yeah.
That goes a long way.
Buy them a cup of coffee, whatever the case may be.
Whatever the case may be.
Pull back the curtain for us a little bit. Tell us about some of the challenges that law enforcement faces that most people wouldn't even suspect.
Well, you know, first and foremost is the obvious stuff that they go out and deal with every day. But if you think about the career of a law enforcement officer, how many holidays, how many birthdays, how many personal things that they set aside to make sure they're in that patrol car to make sure we're keeping our community safe. And then, of course, we've got the stigma of all law enforcement officers are bad, which is not true, because no one dislikes a bad police officer more than a good police officer.
Yeah, yeah.
And we do whatever we can to make sure that they do not stay within our rank and file. Mm-hmm. So we want to protect and we want to serve, and that's what we do.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you're always recruiting. What kind of career opportunities are available in law enforcement?
There's opportunities across the board. My agency particularly still has one vacancy. It's a process. You've got to go through a very extensive background investigation to make sure that you don't have anything in your background that would prohibit you from being a police officer. And then it's a 6-month police academy. We use Eastern Shore Criminal Justice Academy right here in Salisbury at Warwick Community College. And once that's over with, then there's a fairly extensive field training process that police officers go through, where they're mentored by an experienced officer.
Yeah. So, why did you become a cop?
Why did I become a cop? I have always been about service.
Yeah.
Before I became a law enforcement officer, I was a member of the local volunteer fire company and served for 15 years doing that. And of course, as you know, law enforcement, firefighters, they work hand in hand at different things. And I got to know a lot of the local officers and really felt that it was a calling. And just to digress, back in the early 80s, late 70s, early 80s, I was actually a police cadet with the Denton Police Department.
Really?
Yes. So.
Wow.
So that was my.
That seed was sown early, wasn't it?
It was sown early. It was something I wanted to do.
Yeah.
I wanted to serve.
And you still are, and thank you for serving.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
And thank you for being here on DelmarvaLife.
I appreciate the opportunity.
Chief Bighorn, stay safe.
Will do.